Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Colorado Springs Hispanic Business Chamber Cocktails and Conversation series. My name is Moni. I am the vice chair for the Hispanic Chamber, and tonight we are going to have a great guest. He is known for the Latino James Bond. I can't wait for him to give me an explanation on that. I am so excited for this interview tonight. And shout out to everybody who is already on, who is already watching. Remember that at the end of our interview, you will have the opportunity to be able to give some questions if you like. Also, cheers to anybody who already has their wine, their alcohol, whatever it is that they have. And I want to shout out our sponsors tonight. Thank you for sponsoring us. Atrevida is not a sponsor, but they are sponsoring me with some beer, and this is La Gran Señora. I'll tell you a little bit about that as we go into our interview. And I have the pleasure to announce the one and only Alejandro de Hoyos.
Hola, hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Alejandro?
Bien, gracias por invitarme a tu programa.
Gracias por tomar el tiempo de estar con nosotros. So here's my question for you. What
Yes.
do you speak? How do you speak more comfortably, in Spanish or in English?
At this point, the same way. I do have an accent in English, but I speak it very, very well.
¿Qué te parece si lo hacemos Spanglish?
Claro, claro que sí.
Perfecto.
I,
So we're
I,
gonna have a
I moved here to the States when I was about 22. So I grew up speaking Spanish, my whole life.
okay.
But I've learned to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So, actually, since you started talking about when you were around 22, let's start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? Where were you raised?
Wow, from the beginning. Let me see if we can go back that far. Yeah, no. I was born in Ensenada, Baja California, which is very close. I'm here in Los Angeles. It's a few miles away from here, about 180, 200 miles from here. Beautiful little town. When I was there, it was very, very small. And my dad liked to move from place to place. So we also moved to Acapulco, then back to Ensenada, then Mexico City, then back to Ensenada. And when I was about 16, we moved to Acapulco and basically stayed there for a few years until I decided to go to other places. Then I went on my own to Mexico City, then Las Vegas, and then Los Angeles, different places.
That is awesome. So, where do you live now? Are you in LA?
I'm in LA, yeah, in
Okay.
Sherman. It's the Valley area of Los Angeles.
I
I
love Sherman Oaks. I lived in Sherman Oaks.
really,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
I lived in East LA for a while too. I love that, the whole LA scenery. I love
That
it.
is that. What do you mean you lived in East LA too?
Yeah, I lived in East LA too.
No, it's funny that you said two because I have my house here that I've had, like I said, 25 years, 20 something, eight. But I have a building. I have my business is in East LA. I run
Really?
all my companies I run from East LA. So
That is
so that's funny when you say I'm from East LA too. You know.
that is awesome. So I lived off of Fourth Street, right by the King Taco, where the gold train is at.
I had my one of my businesses right across the street from King Taco.
Really?
This was since 2006. But then in 11, I bought a building. You might know this building on Gage and Cesar Chavez. It was the
Hmm.
graphics building. Beautiful. It has like stone, like ceramic all around. So yeah, so that's my headquarters over there.
Oh, love it. Actually, my daughter, she was like in the second grade when I lived out in East LA, and she did a time capsule at the Belvedere Park. So I don't know if you've been to the Belvedere Park, but they have a time capsule that they're going to open up. I think it's 2035 or something, but it's pretty neat that they did with the school.
Nice, very nice.
Anyhow, if you get a chance, check it out.
Because I was talking, I will check it out. I was talking to somebody that was interviewing me, and she also lives in Sherman Oaks. That's strange. And now you're telling me that you lived in East LA, which is, where I go every day. It's like my second home because obviously I spend a lot of time there during the day, and then, you know, happen.
East LA, a lot of people like to talk about it like it's a bad area, but I can honestly tell you that besides hearing the choppers at night, run, um, I slept with my doors unlocked, and I never had any issues in East LA.
You know what? I'm in Sherman Oaks, and I hear the helicopters here sometimes. Sherman Oaks is really nice. Studio City, Sherman Oaks, and I've been going to East LA since 2006. We've never had a problem.
Yeah.
We had maybe two, three, four graffiti issues. Some kids painting on one of my doors, and then they come the next day. The city comes and they paint it right away before we even call them. Because a couple of times we were like, "What do we call?" And then once we call, then they're like, "No, no, we already took care of it." It's like, wow. So I think East LA has changed, and I'm very happy because the building I bought, I refurbished it also. I like construction, so I like to make things nice. It's from 1926, 27, the building, and it was a little damaged, and now it's beautiful inside. Outside, it's really really pretty. So, and people used to say that, why are you spending so much effort and money and time in East LA? I mean, people won't be able to appreciate it. And I would get so mad because I would say, what do you mean they won't be able to appreciate it? Who's they? Do you think that the Latinos like, trash and dirty places? No, they like nice places. So they come, have a medical facility downstairs. They love to come here because or there. It's nice, it's clean. We treat them with respect, you know. So it's awesome. Why not? It's kind of funny that sometimes people think that only in the nicer areas they're going to treat you better and it's going to be clean. And I don't know. You can have a clean house. It's funny because when I go to Mexico, I have been to very humble homes in Mexico where they have a dirt floor, but they are so clean.
Clean.
Yeah, they're poor, humble people like in Acapulco. When I'm there, I would go visit. They have their water and they sweep, but everything is nice and clean and they're friendly and all that. There's a big difference between being humble and poor and being dirty.
You know what? For the most part, Latinos, no por nada, somos bien limpios, for the most part, I would have to say.
todos,
Um,
todos los días, sin falta.
sí. Y sabes lo que me encanta del este de Los Ángeles es la cultura. You can really feel the culture in East LA, and it's just beautiful. It is beautiful. So that's so awesome. That's funny that you say that you work there. I miss it. I miss it. Sometimes I miss it. I don't miss the traffic.
Yeah, yeah. If you go really early, like if I go at 6:30, I'm good. If I go at 7, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
30, it takes me 25 minutes. Otherwise, it's like an hour. Or unless I leave like at 10 o'clock. Right now, coronavirus has actually been good. I hate to say this, but traffic has been not as bad as usual. And I'm there in 25 minutes.
That's not too bad. Oye, sí, hablando de la pandemia, how are you dealing with this new normal?
Well, I don't know
Good.
if I don't know if you know. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman.
Hmm.
I own a few companies.
Cuéntame.
Sí. So I own a few companies, and some of my companies are closed because of the pandemic, but other clinics, other places like the clinic are still open. I have a medical facility that deals with injured workers, and we always have injured workers. Most of them are Hispanic, and we take good care of them. So that hasn't stopped. It stopped a little in March when things happened, and then they closed a lot of places. But we're taking care of a lot of people still. So, but we also have a banquet hall, an event hall, in the building upstairs, beautiful that I remodeled. So we had to cancel all the weddings, all the quinceañeras that we had for this year, for the whole year. Yeah, because we have every weekend we had Friday, Saturday, or Sundays we had
Fiesta.
fiesta, yeah, quinceañera, weddings, corporate events. So yeah, we had to close that because you can't have a lot of people. Even we even have salsa classes, but right now that is on hold. You know, for,
Wow.
for that specific company. For the other companies, I do remodeling. I like construction. So I had just finished a project also there in East LA. So uh, it's good that I just finished because some of my guys can't work right now or don't want to work. Or, they're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to keep improvising. My auditions, I do a lot of self tape. Like right now, it's more complicated, because like I was saying to your friend to Joe, um, when they call me for an audition, normally you just go. If they say 2 o'clock, you go at 2 o'clock. You're there. You're in and out. If they don't have a lot of people, you're out of there in 20 minutes. Now they say do self tape and do this and do that. So now I have to either leave work or come to my house, which this is my gym. So I have this thing that comes down so I can do these self tape things. So it's more elaborate. I have to do self production. I have to get my son to help me with lines, or my other son, or whatever. So, but then again, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You,
Make it happen.
you adapt. Yeah, make it happen.
Oye, sí, con todo esto, con la pandemia, going back to más o menos the same question, um, for us Latinos, we just love to hug and kiss. Are you holding yourself back when you see people that you haven't seen that aren't in your household and you're just like, los abrazas todavía, les das beso todavía o qué onda?
No, no, no. To be honest with you, no, because my mom lives with us. She has her guest house here, but she eats dinner with us every night. We normally eat dinner every night, even before, yeah, before, unless one of the boys had a class, or because I have three boys that still live, two in the house, and then I have another guest house with another boy that graduated from college a couple of years ago. So you know how it is. I
Yeah,
don't, I don't know if you know how it is, but that's
I
how it
do know.
which is awesome. So I don't want to get my mom sick because I'm the only one who goes out every single day. I go to work, and since it's a medical facility, they have to be very careful, screen all the patients. They're all wearing masks. But I go there and I go to my office, and somebody will come and talk to me. I see them, but I'm not, you know, hugging and kissing anybody. So yeah, just my family.
Okay.
I'm in
And
direct contact with my family here.
so you say you have a clinic. ¿Eres doctor?
No, what happened is it's a long story, but I also have an interpreting company. We help doctors understand the patients and vice versa. And the patient, when they get injured, they have a right to talk to a doctor, but in their own language. They need to, because once you get injured, it becomes a legal case. So they have the right, the legal right to be able to understand what the doctor is saying precisely. If somebody's saying, "Yeah, I'm going to do an MRI on your, whatever L4, L5," you need to be able to explain, where it is in the lower back or this or that, what an MRI is. So they need to be able to understand 100% what the doctor's saying. Can you imagine if somebody tells you, "What do you have?" But you don't understand Spanish, and they say, "Oh, you have this issue in your brain, and we're going to do this," and you're like, "What? What?"
¿Qué dijo?
Sí, lo único que vi es brain, and as soon as I heard that, my brain froze. So yeah, so we help him with those things. So at one point, one of the doctors wanted to close his clinic, and he said, "Alex, I'm going to close it. Do you want to run it?" I said, "Well, I'm not a doctor." He knew that. He said, "Well, Doctor so and so might want to go in with you." So you would be the doctor, you're the administrator, you run it, and I decided to do that. So that was 16 years ago. 16 years.
Wow.
So I have a management company. I can't. I don't prescribe medication. I can't tell the doctors what to do. However, the doctors come to my place and then they're able to see the patients, and we do everything for them: the billing, collections, the staff. It's a very unique business, very interesting because I'm independent. They're independent. They're not my bosses. I'm not their boss. We work together.
That is awesome. Y ayudas a nuestra gente. I love it. I totally love it.
Exactamente.
So, since we've been in the quarantine, have you picked up any new hobbies?
You know, I have so many things that I do with my life. It's. I was just talking to my boys, and I said I'm a little stressed out because today I had a lot of things to do, including 3 videos. You know, this is the third.
Mm.
So, and I said, I told Max, my 25-year-old, and I said, I don't know why. He's like, Dad, you know why? He's like, you're getting phone calls from this, from work, for this. There's a lot always going on. So as far as picking up new hobbies, no, no, no. I uh, I do my workout here. Like I said, this is my gym, so I work out pretty much every day. I'm not a weight person that does a lot of weights. No, I'm into martial arts.
Mm.
So I will do stretching because I'm getting older. So as you get older, you need to stretch more and more. So and also I'm preparing for my next film. Yeah, and so I have my punching bag. I have my treadmill, my big screen TV. So I'm training every day. Did you ever see my movie The Contractor, El Contratista, o todavía no?
Todavía no lo he visto. Lo voy a tener que ver. Estoy en deuda contigo desde ahorita.
It's interesting. It's the movie that I produced. I was the executive producer and ended up producing with other people who helped us also produce it. And I was the lead actor of the film. I was not supposed to be the lead actor. The writer, who's a friend of mine, he's also a director, and he brought me the project, and he said, Alex, are you interested in producing this film? He knew that I wanted to do something, and I looked at it, I read it, and I said, yeah, let's do it. So we were looking for actors, we were looking for directors, because he didn't want to direct. And at the end of the day, we said, look, I want you to direct it. You wrote it, you understand this. Every time we talk about it, you talk about how this would be shot and this. You direct it. And he said the same thing. Well, I'll direct it if you're the lead actor. And I was like, time, I don't
That's
have
a lot of work.
29 companies. I have my sons, I have the family. I'm too busy. And then I'm going to produce it and be the lead actor. So yeah, so I get some help. A couple of production companies, one in Mexico, one here. They all helped me with that, and we were able to do it. So I was the lead actor.
Nice. Tengo preguntas para ti de eso un poquito más adelante. Ahorita lo que quiero saber es de Alejandro. They call you Alex, you said, right?
They call me both.
Okay.
Sí, mi mamá cuando estaba enojada conmigo era Alejandro.
Ujú.
Otherwise it's Alex. Yeah.
Oye, hablando de tu mamá, cuando se enojaba contigo, ¿nunca te tiró una chancla?
Fíjate, eso es famoso, ¿no? No, mi mamá siempre decía, te voy a pegar y te voy a pegar. Y
Nunca.
mamá no. Mi papá era el que él no decía nada. Él nada más llegaba y, órale, pum.
Vámonos.
No, no me acuerdo que me haya pegado ni una vez. Una vez me correteó, pero no me alcanzó. O sea, imagínate. 11 años y no, bien rápido. Pero no. Y además siempre he sido.
So awesome.
No es de las. ¿Cómo?
No te escuché.
Y que mi mamá no era de las que te daba con la chancla, que es súper famoso, súper conocido, que las mamás te pegan con la chancla. Mi mamá no.
No. Mi mamá tampoco, fíjate, era más las amenazas de que me iba a pegar una vez sí me tiró una chancla y me gaché y en eso que le pegó la pura cara a mi tío, olvídate, salí corriendo.
Dios mío.
Yeah, eso fue lo peor. I hear that you talk a lot about your family. Tell me a little bit about your family. You have your brothers, sisters, your parents. So we know your mom lives with you. We know you have 3 sons. Do you have any daughters?
No, 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 no. But before the pandemic, I had a lot of girls in my house coming to visit my boys.
Yeah.
One of them is 18, the other one's 20 and 25. And I have also a nephew that I adopted since he was 8. So, but he also lives outside. He has his own apartment. And he's 28. So yeah, so I have four boys, and he comes to dinner, and we'll get together here. It's awesome. It's awesome to have all boys. Yeah, it would have been nice to have a girl. People tell me because when they see me interact with little girls, they're like, Alex, you need a girl. You needed a girl. I said, I'm happy with my boys. And my wife was happy with all four boys. She didn't miss the girls,
Girls are very dramatical. So your wife probably doesn't have to deal with any of that drama that girls bring. So that's kind of cool. But that's a lot of testosterone. I had all girls, so I don't. I yeah.
Any, how many girls? So you don't want to tell me?
No, no, no te escuché. Tengo tres. I have a 20, she'll be 26 in September. And then I have a 21-year-old. And guess how old my next child is?
10.
3.
Oh, three. Wow.
So I started all over again. That was a whole nother experience. Yo pensaba que me la sabía toda, no olvídate, parecía primeriza.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Cuéntame esto. Do you like to sing at all? I know that you worked in a nightclub for in Mexico. Do you like to sing?
I'm going to tell you a secret. I love to sing, but I never learned to sing. It's one of those things that when I was in Mexico growing up, if you said that you wanted to be an actor or a singer or a performer, people would make so much fun of, well, at least where I lived in Acapulco. I think a couple of times said, yeah, I would love to learn how to sing or to be an actor. And they were like, yeah, claro, sí, pinche güey. Ya dije, no, no se me salió. Pero siempre se burlaban, se burlaban. So I guess I just kept it inside, and I never really learned to sing, to take classes. I have taken some lessons here in the States, but no, I can carry a tune sometimes, other times no.
Do you
But no,
sing in the shower?
yeah, and I sing in the car a lot. Funny, nobody can hear me. I can really loud, and yeah.
And
You know.
speaking of the car, if I were to go into your car right now, turn on your radio, what will I hear?
You're not gonna believe this. Going back to what people tell you and they make fun of you. Growing up in the club industry, everything was pop, but pop in English. It was Michael Jackson, Prince, everything that was disco or clubbing. It's club. Um, and I guess somehow I would hear salsa, and I kind of like the beat and stuff like that. But it was like not cool to like salsa in the environment where I was. And here, about 4 years ago, I got invited to a place where they were doing salsa and doing lessons, and I took the class and I loved it, and now I love salsa. I now I can dance. Now after I took like 3 years of salsa, now I can dance, and uh, and I also like cumbia, which is I like everything. When I'm working, I put my classical music, I put Mozart, whatever, anything that, yeah, focus. But then, like I was telling my boys, guys, because I watch my fights when I'm working out. I go to, watch the fights, mixed martial arts. But
Mhm.
yesterday I had music, I had cumbia music. And I said, I trained really, really hard. I was telling them yesterday, I trained really hard this morning. I think it was because of the music. Because just like rock, I like rock, certain rock. I think I like a lot of different types of music, but what I have discovered in the last 3 to 4 years is that I really like salsa and cumbia, things like that.
You know what's funny? I learned how to dance salsa in Mexico City. I was probably about 12 years old y fue la primera vez que yo fui a una disco.
A un
Y
lugar.
ahí me enseñé y ahí me empezó a gustar la música salsa. So I can totally understand you like so many types of music. And as we go on through our lives, you're going through like phases of music. I
Yeah.
don't know how to explain it. And then when you hear this music after years, it takes you back to that era or that point in your life, and you're just like, oh, I remember. That's
Yeah.
so beautiful about music.
It's good to discover different types of music because yeah, I get bored if I'm just listening to classical or pop in English or whatever or rock, anything. It's good, but then you've heard those songs so many times that it's like, you know. So now you discover, like recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I discovered like three or four new performers that I didn't know about. Like I don't know if you know whom Mon Laferte or Laferte, something like that. She's amazing. She's great. She's like she's plays like rock, but in Espanol, but like folkloric. Like I don't know. She's from Chile.
Like Natalia Lafourcade.
Natalia, I just discovered Natalia Lafourcade. I didn't know who she was, and also
Awesome.
Elisa Robles. I just found out who she is. I listened. I was listening to something cumbia song, pedacito de mi vida, and I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, and she's with two guys, and all three of them are amazing. You know, I would love to. I would love for them. I want to talk to them and have them do some of the music for my next film. They're very talented, all three. Two guys and the girl. So,
Nice.
so people tell me, "Oh, don't say it because you're gonna jinx it." I don't believe in that. I do believe in saying it and putting it out there, and if it happens, that's awesome. If it doesn't happen, no. But
I believe in speaking things into existence. So you say it so it can happen.
absolutely, yeah. So that's my point. That you still discover new artists, and I would love to have some of these artists. And if not, if they don't want to do it, maybe there'll be other newer artists that people don't know about it, but they're very talented. I wanna include them in my next film. You know.
That is awesome. Oh yes, now that we're talking about music, tell me a little bit about your career with running the nightclub. How did you end up doing that? What drove you to do that? And talk to me about the artist that you got to work with that was very inspirational for you.
Yeah, I moved to Acapulco when I was about 15, 16, and I always liked to work. I was working when I was 12, when I was young. After school, I would go to the supermarket and work. You know, my dad didn't know. So at 16, I started working. I was tall already. And in Mexico, when you're 18, you're a man. You know, it's not like, oh, you're 18. No, you're a man. Uh, so I was 16, so I looked like I was 18, and I started working at a club. You're not gonna believe it. There was an opening. Somebody who went on vacation for a couple of weeks in the bathroom. The guy who gives the little towels to the guy who goes there to the bathroom, washes his hands, and you hand him a towel, and you have the little lotion. I don't know, but have you been to clubs where for ladies that they also have
In
things like
Mexico?
or here, anywhere in the states.
Mm.
Like in Vegas or here in LA, I've seen clubs like that. They have an attendant, a bath.
In Mexico, I remember that in Mexico, not out here, but in Mexico for sure.
So I did that for a couple of weeks just to cover this guy's shift when I was 16. And the manager liked me, and he said, "Oh, can you help us some more and work at the door?" So I was a doorman for a couple of years, and I was very young, 16, 17, and then 18. And then from then on, I started moving up. Then I became like an assistant manager. Then I was managing a club in Acapulco when I was 19. I was the manager of this club.
Awesome.
I moved to Mexico City. Then I moved to Vegas because I wanted to learn English. Me fui de mojado. I didn't have papers or anything, so I just went to Las Vegas for 6 months. And then I came back because a club in Mexico City that I had worked with them at a different club that they had a smaller one. Now they were going to open. They said, "Alex, we're ready." So I went back. This was Magic Circus, the biggest club. I don't know if it's in the world, but we had 2 floors and we could have 3,000 people in there, which was normally you could have 800, 1,000, but 3,000. So Magic Circus. So I was the general manager of that. Of that.
Nice.
Yeah. So I learned. I learned. Obviously, I have been managing clubs. I learned a lot of things. I learned to produce for live shows because we would have performers there, and it was disco music, club music. Like I said, Michael Jackson, Prince, all those guys, and we were able to hire some singers. Since I'm an entrepreneur, I already had that thing in me. I started hiring myself. I started talking to the promoters, and they said, "Who do you have?" Somebody said, "Well, I have Lupita D'Alessio," and I said, "Can I hire her?"
Tráemela.
So he's like, "Yeah, it's this much." So I did all the promotion, everything. I told the owners of the club, "Look, I'm going to do this on a Thursday because we only work Fridays and Saturdays. We're gonna do it on a Thursday. It's closed, and I'll give you a little bit of money, not a lot, just a little bit." And I'm the manager, so they're like, "Sure, whatever comes in, alcohol, whatever." So I started doing this. So I did Lupita Alessio, Jose Jose, Alberto Cortez. This on my own. I did Sylvester. I don't know if you remember or you know who Sylvester was. He was an American singer, very flamboyant. He has very like the most famous songs of the era of the 80s. You Make Me Feel, Mighty Real,
Mm-hmm.
Gold, a lot of those great songs, great dance songs. So yeah, he also performed there under me. And I also did a couple of martial arts tournaments. I did a world championship
I
there
heard about that.
club, which was amazing to have the big round screen and put the ring in the center. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And after the fights were over, after they cleaned the blood and everything, everybody got on top of the dance. Just an amazing experience for a 22-year-old kid. It was great. So that's why I like the production. I don't know if I went off,
No.
but that's why I like the production, and this was more like live. But we were actually working with Televisa, the Mexican big station, and they were recording these fights, and then they would show them later
That is awesome.
on their sports programs. So that was great. And then that's why when we said let's do a movie, yeah, I'm not afraid of doing production, and it's all about the team. I,
Yeah. It's who you work with, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's who you work with too.
Yeah. I have about 100 employees for the different companies, but they're all part of my team. I could not do what I do on my own, obviously. So I have 25, 30 people at the clinic. I have 20 interpreters. I have 15, 20 in the construction in different companies at the banquet hall. Different people. They're a team, and they all work independently from me. Imagine that so I go there to make sure that they want to talk to me about different companies, and I can do that. But they have to do the work. And same with the production. When I had the production, I had people helping. And that was amazing. I'm not gonna be doing everything myself. I can't. I can't. You know.
And you've done over like 200 commercials. You were in the movie Clear and Present Danger también, ¿verdad?
Yeah. It's interesting because um, I was here in LA, and then I got married, and we went to Virginia. That's where my wife is from. And then I was just running a restaurant. We had a restaurant for 3 years, but I was missing Los Angeles. I was missing California and my family in Baja. So it was good for her to be with her parents and her family for 3 years. But I don't like cold weather. I don't do very well. And Virginia has the four seasons. It's nice. The summer, which is great. Virginia Beach, awesome. But then you have, the snow, and I'm like, not
Oh, snow.
for me. So we came back when I was 30. We came back to LA, and just happened that my wife wanted to be an actress because she was a professional ballerina, and she liked the acting. So I went with her to an audition, and there at that audition, the casting director asked her, "Hey, do you know any guys? I'm looking for this type of guys." And she said, "Well, my husband's out there, waiting." She's like, "Really? Let me see him." She's like, "Oh, hi." When I come in, I'm like, I've never acted before in my life. This is when I'm 30. When I was 30. So she liked what I did, and she said, "Look, I like your look. I like what you do and all that. I'm gonna give you some names. You call them, and then we'll talk." She gave me a couple of workshops. I took a workshop for like 4 6 weeks. By the 6 weeks, they had agent night, so they brought different commercial agents, and I got booked right there with a commercial agent. Once I got that agent, I was booking like crazy. 20, 30 commercials, a year, which is crazy. Normally, if you book one a year, you're doing really, really well. At the time I was booking, well, I was in my 30s. I was younger. I was the young dad, whatever, different characters. So I was booking a lot. That's how I did 200 commercials. And then I continued. I've been taking classes since then. It's what I have noticed is that it's very, very difficult. If you don't learn something when you're young, it's a lot more difficult, but
As
not,
you go.
but not impossible.
Yes, that's right. Well, yes, do you think that your appearance in your recent Northwestern Mutual commercial make you more recognized as a Latino actor in the United States?
I don't think so because I would like to hope so, but when it comes to commercials, they don't know because I'm talking in English. Although I talk in English, it's a voiceover, and I do it with my accent. And they like my accent. They said, no, 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 don't try to
A mí
use
me encanta.
use your regular accent. Thank you. They said, I don't want you to try to work with a, because I was going to work with a coach. They're like, no, 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 just the way it is. I'm fluent. I mean, I know my words. I've studied a lot. It's not like I just learned English just by talking to people. No, I've learned. Um, so I don't know how many people know that guy for the Northwestern Mutual commercial that he is Latino. I don't know. They might think that well, European is some Europeans are Latinos also, but they,
It does kind of sound European. It
yeah.
does sound a little European.
Well, the commercial was shot in Canary Islands, then Barcelona, Iceland, which was so cold. Again, I'm running. There's like ice. We went to some places, some glaciers where it's all ice, and I'm running there, and I'm like freezing. And and you do it. I'm very, very happy to do it. I'm running on the water, which is almost frozen because they wanted to capture in Iceland an area that has like a peak on the water, like a little thing. And when I'm running there, at 5:30 in the morning, and it's freezing, and the wind is like hitting on your face, and I'm like, this is what I do. We had to stop the shooting a couple of times because the wind was so hard that it would throw sand on the camera and on me or whatever. So it was like little storms, but you do it. So by the time I finished that shot at the beach, the guy says, "We're done, Alex." And I said, "Good." And they're like, "Are you okay?" And then I said, "Yeah, I could not play. I was not playing. I was, and they're like, let's go to your trailer right away, because it was so cold. And I'm trying to be a professional guy and, trying to be professional and do the work. Pero me estaba congelando.
Híjole. Well, yes, tell us about before we get into your new film project and what you're writing and producing right now. Tell me a little bit about uh, the Contratista film.
Well, that's the movie that I told you about. My friend Jojo Henriksen, who is the writer and director. He told me about it like in March, and by August we were shooting. So we did some pre-production, hired some really, really good actors from here, but also hired some really good actors from Mexico City. You know, Ana Layevska, Mario Zaragoza. These guys are very well known in Mexico.
Mhm.
They're very good actors. Juan Ignacio Aranda, que es hijo de Ignacio López Tarso. A lot of people know who that is. You know, um, so it was great to work with all those people, with all those guys. They were very professional. They they were professional and very graceful to do a low budget film. I mean, for them to fly to Ensenada and shoot it there. Not all of them shot for 4 weeks. We all shot for 4 weeks, but some of them would shoot for 2 weeks, and they were all very graceful. I'm very thankful that same with the guys here. Same with the guys here.
And actually, actually working behind the scenes and in front of the camera, that's a big deal. A lot of people don't know the work that's put into being in front of the camera and the work that's being put behind the camera. And to do both, that is very admirable. Y ver un latino que está haciendo una compañía de producción de películas, o sea, es algo admirable porque Hollywood is hard for Latinos to get in.
Yeah, and funny that you're saying that because that's the reason I decided to do this movie. When I go to auditions, people are always talking, and there's some of my actor friends, and they're very upbeat, but there are a few actors that have been in the business for many many years, so they're a little jaded. So I would always, when I say always, not every that, but I would hear some of these actors who have been in the business, good guys, really good actors, and they would be like, you know what, this industry is really bad for Latinos. We don't get hired. You know, you see so and so movie, the guy's supposed to be Latino, but they used a white guy, and blah blah. And then I said, I know, I know. One day I said, we need to do our own projects, man. Why are we waiting for white people to or executives in Hollywood to hire us? Or we need to write our own projects. We need to produce our own projects because as actors, we're just depending on other people to hire to hire us. So that's why Jojo knew that I was looking for a project to produce. That's why.
That is so awesome, so admiring too. Um, Tell me about the projects that you have coming up. And I don't want to rush you with this question, but I want to play a game with you. Vamos a jugar un juegos. ¿Sí?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll play a Chicano juego since we're doing the bilingual thing today. Eso va a ser más adelantito. Porque no quiero que se nos acabe el tiempo.
A ver,
Ok. Cuéntame un poquito antes de jugar ese juego. Quiero que me cuentes un poquito of what you're writing, what are any future projects that are coming up, what people need to look out for.
uh, before I answer that, let me answer real quick about El Contratista, something that just came to me. So El Contratista, we were looking for a distributor. We found a distributor. So they put on Spectrum, which is the cable stations, and a couple of cable stations. It actually might be everywhere in the country on cable. But and then they put it on Amazon. So El Contratista, it's called the contractor. They put it on Amazon. The only thing is that somehow, I don't know how it happened, the distributors, they dubbed it into English, and instead of putting both versions, the original, because the movie is 99% in Spanish, instead of putting it in Spanish and having the option to see it in English dubbed, that's the only choice you have. The only choice is to see it dubbed. And so
Se le quita lo.
yeah, so we were very excited that it was on Amazon, and we saw it. I saw it, and I had a lot of people call me and say, "Alex, the movie's in English. What happened?" So I was a little frustrated. So they've been trying to work on that, but it's been like 3 months, and it's still there, but in English, in dubbed English. So
Si no, si no se ponen las pilas, diles que se lo lleven a Netflix.
right. So right now we're dealing with a couple of things. All this is a good learning experience for me because for the next film I'm gonna and then the dubbing, I wasn't crazy about how the dubbing was done. They used a couple of British actors to play a Mexican boy and things like that. So again, it's lessons for me. I came up with all the money to do that. I put all the effort. I did that. I learned a lot of things from that. So having said that, great experience. The movie is great accents in Spanish. It's not perfect, but nothing's perfect. You know, I see that cost $100 million, and they're full of holes. Anyway, so that's done.
Well,
Now,
that's exciting though. Either way, grabbing that experience, there's no money that can pay for what you've learned so far, and because that is going to take you to the whole another level.
So the next movie that we're working on now, we have so much more experience than when I started doing the other. Uh, I'm a businessman, so I approach the production also as a business. It's a business. You need good people, you need a good team, you need all those things, schedules, money, all that stuff is a business. And but also the creative part. So my son and I, my 25-year-old, got out of college a couple years ago. We wrote a movie. So we
Mm.
finished it. It took us about a year. So we finished it a few months ago, and then I said, I kept saying, Max, we need to finish it, but because once we finish it, things will start happening. I mean, like pre-production, everything. Y pues yo soy el que empuja porque yo soy el entrepreneur. Y él, sí, sí, papá, yes, I will do it. But he's very good, very creative, very clever, very smart.
Nice.
He doesn't carry his phone. He carries a book all the time.
Love it.
Like earlier, he was telling me, hey, Dad, can you read these three pages? It's like, it's about enlightenment and things. And I said, Max, that's when I say I'm a little stressed out right now. I'll read it after my interview. You know, so so um, so we wrote the film together and finished it. And then I was talking to my publicist, and I said, I'm ready now. Reading, I'm going to start looking at people. I'm thinking about the celebrities. Do you know Demian Bichir? He's
Me suena el nombre, pero no.
Demian Bichir. He was in The Nun. He was the priest in The Nun. It was a horror film, but he's also been in a lot of big films. He was nominated for an Oscar for A Better Life. I think he plays a gardener or something. Anyway, he's very, very well known in Mexico. I love that guy, and we used to audition together for commercials many, many years when I started. So I would love for him to play one of the characters there in the movie. I'm thinking about Salma Hayek to play one of the characters. It's a great character. So I'm thinking big, because the script is looking good. So anyway, I hired this director through my publicist, and it's this great guy. I don't know if I should tell you who he is, but he's
Dime.
okay. His name is Gabriel Beristain. He is a director, and he's done some TV and film and stuff like that. But what he has been doing for the last 20, 25 years, he's been working as a director of photography. So if you look up to Gabriel Beristain, he said, Alex, because we've been working together on the script just to tweak it, he's got great ideas and he loved the script, we're tweaking it. And he says, oh, I have a meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow we can't get together. I have to be at Disney for this little film, And we know what the little film is. It's Black Widow, Black Widow, the new Avengers movie. So he's the director of photography of Avengers movie, and he's done Iron Man. He's done Guardians of the Galaxy. He's done. If you look him up on IMDb, so that's not necessarily the reason that I wanted to work with him. Is when I met him and we talked about after he had read the script, I felt that he would be the perfect person. He's in his 60s. He's from Mexico City, but he's lived here all his life. He understands the Mexican culture. He understands the American culture. In this movie is about Mexico and the United States joining forces to combat some criminals. And there's a love story, and there's this and that. But he got it. He read it and he understood all these concepts. I was gonna. Because I was thinking about somebody younger, but somebody younger would have not gotten a lot of these things because he has lived. He's done all these things as a director of photography. That's just like a bonus. That's gonna be the movie's gonna be whoever we get as a DP. But his life experience and his understanding of the movie is what convinced me. And his, easy. He's very easygoing, and we connected right away. My son and Gabriel and I connected right away. We're like, yeah. I told Jasmine, my publicist, I would like to work with Gabriel. He would be perfect. We talked about it. We negotiated. He's on board, and we took care of things. And we've been working on it for a couple of weeks. Like I said, we're halfway there. The script, I'll be very honest with you, even though Max and I wrote it, what he has brought to the table has made the script a lot tighter.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
I'm very open to that, you know. He liked the script a lot, but it needed to be tweaked. Who am I to say no? It is the way it is. You know, if people want it, that's fine. No. We were open. My son Max and I were open, and he's been helping us. So right before this, I was just working with him. He gets so excited because we'll talk about a scene, and it's like, okay, let's work on it. So Max and I, my son and I, will work on it, and then the next day we'll talk about it. And he's like, oh yeah, I love that. And he just grabs his hair. He's like, oh. Or sometimes he'll say like, I don't know. I need something. I like to see, but I need something. So the three of us talk about it, and at the end of the the conversation that we have, then we come up with something for the next time. So once we bring it next time, he likes it. We all like it. So we're very excited about it. So as soon as we're done with the script, then I'm going to start pre-production. And I'm already thinking about actors and who can help me, calling people in Mexico. I want to shoot some in Mexico, some in here. If Salma Hayek doesn't want to come all the way to the States, because her scenes are in offices with less characters, Gabriela and I were talking about it. We go to France, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a scene at a cabin that she comes and talks to me to try to convince me to go back to her team. So I said, we'll go to France. We'll rent a little chalet over there, and that's where we'll do the scene.
Yeah, gusto, papá.
Yeah, if she doesn't wanna travel or whatever, we'll go. We'll go there. So that's how I'm approaching this. You know, we're hoping that some of these actors, celebrities, will want to do it because they understand what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make Latinos look better with this film because there's a lot of corruption in the film. But the more we dig, we see that there's a lot of corruption in Mexico, but there are also a lot of people that are working against that corruption. We're not trying to deny that, and we also find through the movie that there's also corruption in the United States. So it's more about being human than how did I put it? The color of your skin does not describe the moral of the character. You know,
your integrity, yeah.
Your integrity. I think it's something like that. Yeah, it doesn't. The color of your skin or your nationality does not, describe your integrity. It's more. So that's what the movie is about. Even though it's action and it's love story and it's a little more comedic than the other movie. The Contratista was a little more serious. It has a lot of elements. There's salsa there. We're gonna be dancing salsa.
Nice.
I'm excited about the film.
So when do you think it'll be released? When do you think it'll be out for people to watch?
We need to film it first, and that is a long process. Everything that's going on with the pandemic and all that, I don't know if we're going to be ready to shoot by February, March, next year, maybe 6-8 months. And also, I need those 6 months because I'm getting rough, I'm getting strong, I'm training really hard with my kicks. I'm 59 years old, and I need to go back to when I was 18, when I was a black belt. But it's coming back. It's coming back. Yeah. So I'm training, and my kicks are getting better and faster. And I need another 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months to get a little better with those.
So maybe by 2023, you think?
I don't know. I don't know because once you shoot it, we might take 6 weeks to shoot it because this movie is a little more complicated than the one we did before. Then, it all depends how fast we do what you have to do in post production. It could be months. It could be in 2022. I don't know. Knock on wood.
Yeah, me están haciendo una pregunta que te pregunte y dice así. What needs to happen in Hollywood for more Latinos to have lead roles and carry films when there are more than capable?
Well, I said that earlier. Basically, we need to create our own projects. And this is the thing. We might not. I'm sure there are a lot of Latinos who have money and could help, with the production. But if we don't have the money, if we write something, if we create something, and then go and present it to somebody who might have money, whether they're any nationality. I'm not gonna talk about nationalities. Any nationality, and these people have the money, but they will let you do it the way with the integrity of the way you wrote it. Then you can do it. But this is the thing: if you don't write anything that's good for Latinos to look better, to look good, nobody. I don't want to say nobody's going to produce it, but who's going to produce it if the people who know about our culture are not writing them? Who's going to write it? Somebody who doesn't who they're going to write it with their idea of what a Mexican looks like. If I read about a family in India, I'm gonna write it the way I see it in films, but I don't understand how the life is over there.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Create, and have 10, 20, 30, 40 doors closed on your face until one door really loves your project and says, I'll do it. And I think that's a good way to start. I'm not saying it's easy or it's going to be easy, but that's what I'm doing. If nobody sees my first film, fine. A lot of people have seen it, but for the second one, I think somebody is going to see it. I believe the second one will be in theaters. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good film. I have no doubt. With the director that I have and the crew that I am planning to bring in, I think it's gonna be great.
That is so awesome. Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. That's very inspiring porque hay muchos latinos que dicen, no, ¿para qué? There's really a lot good talent out there. Y
Yeah.
muchos de ellos son latinos y a veces ellos no se sienten suficiente capaz de serlo por el hecho de ser latino. Entonces, haciendo lo que estás haciendo, yo creo que le estás inspirando a muchos latinos, a muchos jóvenes, sea actores, productores, directores, so gracias por lo que estás haciendo. Eso a mí me da mucho gusto hasta poder estar aquí hablando contigo. Antes de que terminemos aquí, ya menos se nos acaba el tiempo, a ver si no nos regañan, pero quiero jugar un juego contigo, ¿sí se puede?
A ver.
¿Sí se puede?
¿Tengo que escribir o algo? Pero...
No. So, last interview I did it with Isaí Morales. ¿Sí sabes quién es?
Of course I know. I say,
Okay, so you know how he's Puerto Rican.
yeah,
He's Puerto Rican. So what I did is I did these crazy Spanish Puerto Rican words, and I had him tell me what they were in English. With you, you're not Puerto Rican, so I'm not going to give you Puerto Rican words. Te voy a dar, no, we're gonna do Chicano because this interview was bilingual. We did a Spanish English, so I'm gonna give you some Chicano words, and you can either answer me in Spanish or in English, and then I'll tell you what it is if you answer whatever it is. So
to know the meaning.
The meaning, yeah. So I'll give you the Chicano term, and you're gonna tell me what it means either in Spanish or in English. Okay?
I'll try.
Ok, listo. Esto va a ser fácil. Esto te la tienes que saber. Bike.
Bike, pues tu bicicleta.
Bicicleta. That's a bike, yeah. What about washetería?
Washetería será donde la lavandería.
Lavandería, laundromat. That was a good one. I didn't know that one. I just learned that one too.
This is the first time I hear it, to be honest with you, but it makes sense because we tend to do that.
Yeah.
Maqueta, dame más.
No, ya te gustó, ¿verdad? Ok. A la trucha.
La trucha, you have to be alert. You have to be ready for this. Tienes que estar trucha, ¿no?
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too, but no, it's a pescar, to go fish.
No, see, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a Chicano, not the Mexican. Mexican is you have to be ready. You start
Yeah. Ponte trucha. Yeah, I get that one. Okay, so la siguiente es laquear.
Laquear, ahí estás laqueando la puerta, supuestamente. No te olvides laquearla.
You have to lock the door. That is so funny. Okay, el carpeta.
El carpeta, yeah, the carpet, you know.
The carpet, la alfombra. Uh,
Dios mío.
guacha.
Guache, guache, mira,
Yeah.
lente, mira.
Right. Debajo de las quiltas.
Oh man, under the quilts, the cover. You know.
El pene.
Why are they talking about under the quilts? You know that sounds like a different subject right there. You know?
These are just words that I didn't know that were Chicano language, and I was not all of them. Like I knew some of them, but I was like, really? Okay. So pene,
¿Cómo?
pene.
Por eso, ¿cómo? Como la pasta.
No, es el penny, una moneda, el penny.
Oh, ok. Yo pensé que era pasta. No, no. Yo pensé que te ibas por otro lado. Ya, ¿se
No,
puede?
no, 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 no. Lo voy a mantener blanco. Okay, regar las flores.
¿Regar las flores? Yeah, yeah, to water the flowers?
No, this is one of the new ones that I learned too. It's encuentros sexuales, sexual encounters. Never heard that in my life.
Maybe urinate. I'm gonna go. Voy a regar las flores. You know, I'm gonna like you're in the field. You get out of your car and you know you can't wait, so you go and pee.
The example that they gave me, and I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my favorite Chicanos, Gene Sánchez, es también uno de los miembros del board, y él siempre anda diciendo muchas palabras bien chicanotas, y cuando me dice, sí, es que allá debajo de las huertas es donde regan las flores, and I'm like, what?
Ah, ya ves lo que estaba hablando de las culpas. Ya,
Yes. So yeah, I learned a lot. He gave me a lot of these words as well. La otra is vironga.
vironga. That I've never heard. Virote, sí, que es un pan.
No,
No,
vironga es una caguama, una beer. Vironga.
vironga de beer. No, nunca la he oído eso.
Yeah, yo tampoco. Punchi
Punchi. Punchi tampoco. Eso no.
es tabaco.
Punchi es tabaco.
Tobacco. Yeah, I didn't know that one either. Bola.
Bola, ¿será la bola de años?
La bola de años que siento yo.
Mira. Depende en qué contexto. ¿Cómo?
A ver, déjame te doy un sentence. Préstame un bola.
Ah, sí. Sí, un dólar.
Un dólar, sí. Yeah. Yeah, when I first heard it, I was like, bola. And then in a sentence, when you say it, I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
Dicen, préstame 20 bolas. Por lo
Sí.
menos con ese, dos bolas, unos tres bolas. ¿Cuánto
Yeah.
más bolas? Eso acá se usa mucho en el norte, en Ensenada.
Sí. Okay, next one is panocha.
Panocha es piloncillo, it's a brown sugar, you know, but it also has meaning, as you know, etc.
Right. Songas.
Tongas. Wow. Use it on, now, can you use it in a phrase?
You're like, I don't know if I want to answer that one.
It's your game, you know?
Yeah, it's something different, just to kind of make it fun. Songas. A mí me encantan las songas de la película.
Songas.
I made it hard too, that sentence.
Las songas de la película. No tengo idea.
No.
Las canciones.
Songs.
¿Ah?
Songs.
Las canciones, las songas.
Canciones. Yeah. Oh, I never heard that one either. I was like, songas, ¿qué es eso? It sounds like
No, como lo
someone's sick and they need help or something.
tú lo dijiste como si fuera con Z, songas.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that was it. Just
Okay, it's a fun game.
yeah, it's a little fun to try to get your mind stimulated. And when you're doing interviews and you never met somebody or when someone's asking you questions, you're like, ay, ¿qué me van a preguntar?
Sí. No, pero sí es interesante cómo te dicen tantas cosas en slang. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? We might hear some of those slang words in your next film or something.
Sí. Hay muchos en español también que dicen aiga, y yo les digo, no se dice aiga, se dice haya. No, pero a mí me enseñaron en mi familia que es aiga. Okay, vamos a buscarlo en el diccionario. Y sí, no, no hay aiga, es haya. Entonces,
Allá.
haya.
Ay, ¿cómo qué? Dímelo en una frase.
Cuando dicen, mucha gente dice, espero que haya mucha comida. Y les digo, no, no se dice haya, se dice, espero que haya mucha comida.
Ay,
H-Y-A. Pero no sé si en tu familia te decían haya, es bien común que dicen,
sí. I learned something new today.
no existe. Buscan en el diccionario y no existe, pero muchísima gente dice haya.
Wow.
Espero que haya comida, espero que haya vino, que haya esto, que haya esto. Sí.
Que haya, no haya.
Pero esas son súper comunes en México que se usan haya, en lugar de haya.
Como cuando dicen el garaje. That's not a word.
Sí. Bueno, si eres de México, vas a decir la cochera.
It's yeah. En la cochera, you know, a garage. That is so awesome. Yo fui nacida aquí y fui criada en ciertas partes de México, ciertas temporadas de mi vida. Viví meses en el DF, en Sinaloa, en Culiacán, en Juárez, pero por lo tanto viví acá. So, mi español y mi inglés, ahí estoy como cantinflas, ni de aquí ni de allá.
Así suenas bien, pero fíjate, en México, como debes de saber, todo se puede torcer. Dices, yo fui nacida aquí y criada en México. Criada es una sirvienta, entonces pues, fui criada en México. O sea que fuiste una criada ya, una sirvienta. Entonces todo el mundo, ya ves en México, todo el mundo te puede cambiar todo lo que dices te cambia el significado, sobre todo en la Ciudad de México. Es súper interesante. Tienes que tener cuidado en lo que dices porque si no, pero, pero
Yeah,
es divertido.
sí.
Ese es nuestro lenguaje y hay que apreciar todo lo que tiene, todas las diferentes palabras, significados.
Y, y fíjate que yo creo que nuestro lenguaje, nuestra cultura, yo creo que hay más latinos en los Estados Unidos ahora que había hace 20 años. Y he visto números donde dicen que va a haber más latinos en los Estados Unidos que cualquier otra raza, porque hemos estado creciendo muchísimo. Entonces, de ver esos números y mirar que Hollywood no apoya a los latinos, it makes you think, you know.
It's interesting because if you think about it from the part of economics, and you have all these Latinos, and you're not really selling to them like in commercials or whatever, you're missing out. You're missing out. It's like my movie in Amazon. You have to pay for it if you're not a member of Amazon. All those Latinos who want to watch the movie in Spanish, they can't, they can't watch it. But there could be millions of people who want to watch it in Spanish. So that you're right. People have to think of this as a business. There's so many Latinos, we can sell to them as well because that's what the economy is about. Selling, you know, to people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, and especially Colorado Springs, the Hispanic market is not very a touched market. Yo he trabajado en diferentes emisoras de radio. Comencé con el Latin hip hop. Me fui a inglés Top 40. De allí me fui, hice otra radio en Bakersfield para la Unión de César Chávez, Latin Hip Hop. De ahí me fui con Univision y trabajé en una radio de reggaetón. De reggaetón me fui a Los Ángeles y hice rock en español con Superestrella. De allí me fui a Salinas y cambié mi vida y hice música cristiana en español. De allí me vine para Colorado y yo dije, I'm done, ya no voy a hacer radio. Y de repente me cae en los puros brazos una oferta para trabajar en una emisora de regional mexicano. Entonces, hay tanta cultura en nuestra cultura, diferentes Ya nomás me falta trabajar en los salsa. I mean, ya he tocado todos los géneros, you know, y a la misma vez sigo siendo la misma persona. No tengo que cambiar nada de mí, simplemente ser quien soy. Y yo creo que eso es lo más bonito, que uno como latino, cuando uno es nacido aquí y tenemos la cultura de México o de Sudamérica o de Puerto Rico, Colombia, all these, we can still relate to one another. So if you put all those people, those cultures together as one, that is huge. There's more Latin speaking countries than anywhere else in the world. Era para que estuviéramos a otro nivel.
Yeah, we need to embrace the cultures. Going back real quick to El Contratista, there we have a Rusa, but she's from Mexico City, Ana Malyevska. We had a Puerto Rican that plays one of the soldiers, and we have somebody from Mexico. We have from different national, one Venezolano. Uh, we had a Cubano. That was the team of my team of the soldiers in the movie. Initially, the movie was called The Internationals because the director wanted to have different nationalities that come together, at war, or and they all decide to work together. And the only thing that joins them is the language. They might have accents and they might make fun of each other, but at the end of the day, they have the same language, different culture, same language. And I think it's good to embrace all nationalities. The way I think and the way I write my movies, or this movie that I wrote, it's more about the human experience. Yeah, I do want to look. I do want Mexicans to look better because this movie takes place in Mexico. Um, but definitely, that's very important to me. That for the general population in the United States to see a different view of the Mexican, as opposed to the bad guy, the hombre malo, the criminal, the this and that. We have everything. And even some people who have committed crimes, they still have good things. They're human. You might have somebody who steals, but then with their kids, they're amazing parents or whatever. I'm not saying that one is good, one is bad, but they're different layers in a human being. We're not all bad and not all good. We have different layers. We knew that Hitler was really, really loving with his dog and things like that. I mean, it's like he was a monster. So anyway, I don't want to end it with that.
That was a good explanation. No nos vamos tan lejos. Have you ever been since you're from LA, you lived in the LA area. Have you ever been to Fiestas Patrias, downtown LA? Or El Grito that they do?
No, no, no. I'm a guy that doesn't like multitudes. I'm the kind of guy that don't.
Well, no nos vamos lejos. Fiestas Patrias, they closed down the city of LA, downtown LA, and for blocks and blocks and blocks. And the people that come out, they count them. It's over 1 million people. And this is a Latino event, downtown LA. And it's been going on for like 20 years or so,
Yeah,
you know? So, eso te dice mucho. And not all of them are Mexican.
right. That's right. Yeah, you go to Placito Vera, it's full of, which is popular here in downtown. It's full of Americans.
I
Yeah,
love the mariachi out there. You just took me back. Oh,
yeah. For me, I just like if it's a holiday, I don't fly. If it's 4th of July, any holiday, I stay home. That's just me. Funny enough that I'm an actor, but I'm on the shy side. People laugh when I say, but I've always been very shy. I have come out of my shell through acting, but in reality, I've always been a very reserved person. So funny that I'm an actor and I don't really like. I don't like. I like the work of acting, but I don't. I'm not interested in celebrity. I'm not interested. And people say, yeah, yeah, of course you will be. Yeah, I mean it's nice for people to recognize your work, right? But is that why I want to be an actor? No. I really understand why I want to be an actor because I like the work. Like you said, I like to inspire somebody who sees me kicking butt at 59 and is fighting with these guys. And you're like, this guy is fighting and he looks fast. He looks really good with his punches and everything. And he's 59. I can do that, or I can, play sport. I'm not too old, you know. So I like that concept. I like that idea of inspiring people.
That
So
is awesome.
yeah, yeah,
And you definitely inspired me, and I know you're inspiring a lot of the Latinos that are watching, and first, second, third generation Latinos or hispanos que no hablan inglés, so eh, de saber un poquito que llegaste aquí, poquito de tu historia, cómo llegaste y cómo has sido una persona de éxito, tiene mucho que decir, algo muy admirable. Muchas gracias, Alejandro. Ya me dijeron que nos pasamos.
ya le corto.
Ya me dijeron que si quiero tijeras.
Eso
Eh,
ha sido otra cosa también en México.
ujú.
¿Es tijeras? Ya córtale.
Córtale.
Es otro.
Yeah.
No sé si lo entendiste, pero sí.
Yeah, so it was awesome being able to talk to you. Me encantaría hablar contigo otra vez de nuevo. Before we go, how can people find out where you are? Do you have a Facebook? Do you have Twitter? Do you have ¿Qué
I'm
onda?
hiding. Nobody can see. No, no, no. They can go to Alejandro de Hoy Instagram. I don't know why they didn't have Alejandro de Hoyos, so I started putting it. It's Alejandro de Hoy
Love it.
at Instagram. So yeah, I again I don't post very often. I post when I have an event. My publicist will probably post about what we're doing right now. Probably repost it, just for fun, you know. But it's yeah, that's where people can find out what's going on. Or if they go to IMDb, that the movie database, they can see what's happening, the future productions or things like that.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook?
Not really, not really. I have my Facebook, but it's basically family and friends. Yeah, Instagram is the one I use for people to in the business
Y no
because
estás en el Twitter.
no, no Twitter, no. Volvemos a lo mismo, no me nace estar, y me regañan mis agentes o lo que sea, no, que necesitas estar, que la gente le dé clics and this and that. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to do my own films,
Para que no me tengan que decir nada. Ustedes háganlo por mí.
Nobody, if they don't want to hire me because I don't have clicks on Instagram, I'm going to do my own films, and that's what I'm doing now.
Ah.
For the longest time, I was not really. I never had a movie actor for 20 years. That's why I was only doing commercials and some of the other stuff. But that's why, because I didn't want to, pursue that to be a celebrity, to be, you know. So now that I'm older and I'm more comfortable with all these things, now I'm pursuing it. So, and then we have the pandemic, but it is what it is.
Vamos a sobrevivir con el favor de Dios. Todo va a estar bien. Yeah. Pues muchas gracias, Alejandro. Fue un placer. Me encantaría hablar contigo de nuevo. Aquí estamos a la orden. Ojalá que algún día puedas venir a Colorado Springs. No sé si conoces. Es un lugar hermoso. Ven durante el verano porque en el invierno no te va a gustar.
Sí, no, yo sé que no. Yo sé que está
Sí.
pasado por Colorado, pero no sé.
Es bellísimo aquí, bellísimo, bellísimo. In the summertime too, it's very pretty. Me encanta que se pueden ver the Four Seasons, pero bueno, eso ya es otro show porque ya se nos acabó el tiempo. Fue un placer.
No que vamos a estar toda la noche.
Sí, a mí me encanta hablar.
No, gracias y gracias a tu público que nos está viendo y todo esto. Gracias por tenerme aquí.
Gracias a ti, aquí estamos a la orden y bueno, suerte con todos tus proyectos que vienen adelante. Y ya tienes un nuevo fan, pero yo no estoy en Instagram, nomás estoy en Facebook. ¿Cómo te voy a seguir?
Ahí busquen en Instagram por Alejandro de Hoy.
No tengo Instagram, nomás tengo el Face.
Tú eres una celebrity, ¿por qué no tienes Instagram?
Porque estoy como tú.
Nadie sepa nada de nosotros, ¿verdad?
Nomás quiero tener un social media outlet, no quiero tener más. Y no, me encanta el tiempo con la familia, que es muy importante también.
Ok, pues hablamos con mi publicista para ver cómo conectamos.
Ok, estamos a la orden. Muchas gracias por todo y espero que algún día puedas venir a visitar. You might want to come and record here. It's so beautiful. You have to come see it. It's beautiful here.
Awesome. Muy bien.
Ok, gracias, cuídate. Thank you once again. I'm Moni, the Vice Chair of the Colorado Springs Hispanic Business Chamber. Thank you for everyone watching. Make sure you like and share. Bye.